What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name's Ty Huckster, and yeah, if you're new, subscribe and catch some content. If you don't know what I do, I've been trading Forex for probably a little bit over a year now. I started April of last year, actually. And what I have found is something pretty interesting, and I am going to be showing you guys how to get absolute sniper killer entries on the one and only the Dow Jones, otherwise known as US30. So anyways, the way and style that I trade is mainly I use the thing called market maker. It's a strategy that's been around in the forex space for a pretty long time. I don't know how far it goes back, but yeah. So I'm gonna kind of dive in and dissect, and I'm going to show you how to absolutely destroy this and get a lot of pips, because that's what we all want, a lot of pips. So anyways, yeah, so this move here, so this was Friday coming down into Monday, and this also depends too if your broker allows you to hold trades over the weekend or not. So but this move here in particular went close to 1,300 points or pips, however you say it, but or however you talk or call it, or whatever's good for you. So yeah, that's a lot of pips. That's a lot. And then at the same time is also in the reverse direction is close to 1,100, which is wow, that's pretty life changing if you know what the power of lot sizes can do. And yeah, so I'm going to show you how to get sniper entries. And yeah, so I've been yeah, so right now I'm in the process of getting a funded FTMO account. I am nearly there. And then once that is done, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty sweet ride. So anyways, let's dive in, break it down. So you may think you need to start on a higher time frame with US30, but what you actually have to do, and this is something that I learned. I've been involved in multiple programs. I've bought programs and then took some info and that, and then kind of pieced it together to make my own kind of, I call it like a hybrid strategy. But it's kind of like cheating, but it's not. So but it's pretty cool. So what you do is, and what I do to get sniper entries on US30. Now I haven't really tested this on a lot of pairs, but I do know because of the volatility of US30, this works absolutely amazing. So what you're gonna actually do is you're gonna go down to the 1 minute time frame, believe it or not. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom out. We're gonna zoom out, and then we're gonna stretch this. Way make it big, big, big. So we're gonna stretch it out. And okay, so this is Friday, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the start of the week. Okay, which is over here. Alrighty, so let's dissect how that big downtrend started and how you can gain a really good entry, and kind of what to look for too. And I'll also show you too how to get alerts on your thing, so you don't have to watch it like a hawk all day, and you can actually enjoy your time, which is something I know as a lot of people, they like to, well, that's why a lot of people mainly get into trading, is time and financial freedom. At least that's what I did. So anyways, yeah, I'm only 26, so it's not too bad. I've learned quite a lot. So anyways, let's dive into it. So what you're going to look for is, and this is one thing that I've noticed too, is or maybe you haven't noticed, but especially with market maker in the EMAs, I did not realize how powerful they actually were, and I've been burned multiple times in the past, and for some reason they keep coming back 100% accurate, and I've learned to trust them. And yeah, so what you're going to look for, so this would have been, this is July 16th, so this would have been Friday, and so this would have been your Asian range here, which is right here. So what we did was we came above the Asian range, and then what you did is you pin the ADR, and then the main thing you want to look for, especially on the 1 minute time frame, because if you don't know about the EMAs and the time frames, is what happens is as you move up time frames, from example, from the 1 minute to the 5 minute to the 15, 30, 1 hour, 4, and so on, your EMAs shift at the same time. Like they move in succession. So what I'll do is I'll show you this little chart here. So I got this. I was in some program, and what I did was I ended up taking a screenshot because you have the 15-minute here, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour, and as you can see, the EMAs changed. So what I decided to do is I was like, okay, how can I make this simple? So what I did was I ended up drawing this out myself on a piece of paper as well, and as you can see, then your Aqua comes up here, and so on. It's just like a line of succession. So anyways, if we get back here, so you know that the absolute like smallest time frame you can get on is the 1 minute time frame. So, but you know you're in a small time frame, and also the EMAs start because they start here, and as you see in that chart, they progress as they go. So when you get a EMA cross on the 1 minute, it then turns into the 5 minute, then the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, and so on. So if you want to look for a primal entry, let's go to a lower time frame. And this is something I discovered about 4 days ago. So what you do is on the shift, so this is pretty much about New York Open on Friday. So anyways, so you have an EMA shift right here where your Aqua and your Mayo, which is your 500 EMA and your 200 EMA, where they cross. And one thing you can do is, so when these cross, that would be a signal to enter a cell. So what you do is you enter whatever direction the EMAs cross. Now, this doesn't work so well with Asian range. I've back tested it and I've tried it, because your Asian range usually stays anywhere from a 50 to 100 pip box, depending on which pair you're trading. But this does work very well for the New York session and London session. So as you can see here, we had our Aqua and our Mayo cross pass. So then as long as we maintain a distance, we can hold this trade. So when this goes off, and I'll show you how to set up an alert. So when this cross goes off, that is a signal to you to enter the trade in whichever the cross goes. Now this only works, like I said, New York session and London session. So then what you can do is you can hold that trade as long as these lines here, you maintain a space and they don't cross again. So if we were to break that down here, and then we're gonna, so right here is a different day of the week. So this is Friday and a Monday. So anyways, you can enter this trade on Friday on the break, and I'll show you how to set this up. So you can enter the trade here. Now this is a measuring tool, so you can see how many pips you would catch. And then if you drag it down from the entry on that cross, you can see, and as long as, if you don't know this about the market maker strategy, Also, too, is if your aqua line is below, if the candles are below the aqua, you are selling. And then if your candles are above the aqua, you are in an uptrend. And also, too, is when if your gray is on top, you're selling. If your aqua on top, you're buying. So, anyways, yeah, so you can hold this trade pretty much from when this EMA crosses here all the way down till the close of the session. So as you can see, if you were to hit that cross, that would be at just after market open at 7 a.m. or this is 7:02 a.m. Pacific time. About market open is 6:30 New York. I'm in Pacific time. So anyways, you can hold this trade all the way to pretty much market close. And that is how you gain a sniper entry. And then right till market close, you're looking at 354 pips in one day, which is absolutely life-changing. And it's pretty neat. And the cool part about it is too is if your broker allows you to, now all brokers are different, but some brokers allow you to hold a trade over the weekend, for example. So, but me on the other hand, I don't like holding trades over the weekend. I like to close out for the week and not have anything open for the weekend. So that's just not my style how I trade, and I like to close everything out by the end of the week. So as you can see Monday here, so if you are still in this trade here on the EMA cross, you can hold it. And if you notice too is we are below this 800 EMA here, this navy blue one, which is known as the blueberry. And as long as you maintain that, we are still selling. And so we enter the A range here at the start of Sunday night. And then as you can see, and if you go check out one of my other videos, I actually show you how to set up the Asian range and indicators and everything else. So if you like this kind of chart and you want to make something similar, please feel free and go check that video out. It's a couple back. So anyways, as you can see, we break the low. And if you're holding that trade from before, you can continue to hold that. And as you can see here, we also had a split too at midnight, which is also the start of the London session. And by a split, I mean where the gray and the mayo break again. So you can continue to hold that. And as you can see, you can hold that the entire time from all the way up here on Friday session. So, or until that alert goes off. So as you can see, we're approaching quite a lot of pips. So you are looking at close to the very bottom. You're about 1300-ish or so, 1304 kind of thing. So, and then what you would do is if you were still in that trade, you could hold it right here. So you have your cross where it shifts directions. So the main thing about EMAs is they shift directions. So, and see, I use that as more of like a visual piece so I can see what price is doing. So, and yeah, I do this all in the 1 minute time frame, which is pretty nuts. So anyways, so that there is anywhere from 12 to 1300 points over the course of a 2 day. That's over a weekend if your broker allows it. And then, or even this is a good move too if you were to get for a London session, and then which is midnight Pacific time, 3 a.m. Eastern time. You can enter the trade on the EMA cross on the 1 minute here. Same thing as up here. And you can hold that all the way down. And as you can see, we maintain that space all the way through. And until they cross again, that is your exit. So you can hold, 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 hold. And yeah, that's about 770 pips or so, which was pretty freaking good for a Monday, if you ask me. So yeah, so then that's kind of how I broke that down. And then what we'll do is we will move on. So this green box here is Monday, and then what we're going to do is we are going to move on to Tuesday. And we'll break it down a little more. So, as you can see here, we had a shift out of the zone from Monday here, which is right here, this EMA cross. So, what that means is you have to change your direction of either you're buying or you're selling. So, what we can do is then we can hop in a buy from there, and then for when the direction changes, because once that EMA crosses and that alert goes off, and I'll show you how to set up the alerts. So they pin right to your phone, and it is very convenient, very. So yeah, so you would get across there, and then you would hold, 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 and then to the top of the Asian range, you're looking at a cool 320 pips. So yeah, that's pretty savage. So, and then as you can see here, we maintain this direction. So as you can see, we hit the top of the A range here, and then we hit the low, and then we hit the back. And then this is what A range really does. It's kind of like the lower liquidity session of the market. So there's no real big price movements in Asian range. So the key times you want to look for these EMA shifts are during London Open and New York Open. So usually, sometimes they're within the first half hour, sometimes they're a little delayed, but when that cross goes off, you got a surefire bet that you are going to be bagging it. So anyways, yeah, so if you were to continue to enter that trade from the bottom here, we also closely pin the bottom here. And then as you can see, so even if you were to hold it to the A range high, is 322 pips, which is, yeah, it's pretty damn good. And yeah, so as you can see, price here comes in A range and same thing. So what I've been doing lately is I've been trading these cross alerts back and forth. Or I see a number I like, I get out. So you see it maintains, and then looky loo, what do we got here? So this would be New York Open Tuesday morning. So what we can do is you can see here. So I am going to hit escape, and then we're going to zoom in. We are going to zoom in, and we'll show you how to snipe. So as you can see here, we had New York Open at New York Open is 6:30, and New York is right here 6:30. So anyways, this is a time where you have to remain patient, because usually when the market opens, it gets a little hectic and price starts jumping, going kazooie. But as you can see here, when we had our EMA cross, this was 22 minutes later at 6:52. That is our entry for a buy. And so what happens is this locks in the trend when these lines cross, usually for the session, and it happens on the 1 minute time frame. So this locks in the buy. So what you can do is, as soon as that goes off, so that'll go off up here when we so you would enter somewhere in here, and to be honest with you, you would have like little to no drawdown. Like you'd be almost instantly in profit. And if we go check it out, we got a cool, geez, we're 400 odd pips. Yeah, we are, yeah, about 430 pips for that session, which is pretty wild. And you can see, as we maintain this space, we are good to continue to hold this trade. And as you can see, we keep maintaining this space into the ASIN session of Wednesday, which is this yellow box over here. And so as we maintain this space, and you can see as it comes down, bounces, but the key thing you want to keep in mind is they don't cross. And the alert will tell you, like, straight up. So as you can see, we maintain this space, and then Asian range, and you can see here when we have a cross, so that would be a sign to get out of the trade. So, and take your win and pop it in the bag. So, and then as you can see here, so that also too, one thing you could do is you could enter a sell because you had a shift of direction and your candles are below the aqua now, which means you can sell. And now the thing that I like to do is I don't like to trade Asian range. It's you can catch some pips, but it's too slow for my liking. I like New York or London session myself. But yeah, I would just ignore all this pretty much. And then kind of just let it go and then do its thing. So, but then as we get over to here, and then so this is Asian range on Tuesday, and then we get into Wednesday London session, which is funny enough, it's usually right when those EMA crosses are, and then it shifts direction to the upside. So as you can see, we had an EMA cross right here, and I'll take an arrow, and then I'll kind of point it out to you guys. So we have our EMA cross right here, and then as you can see, we maintain this space all the way up, which means we can continue to hold this trade until you get a cross right here, and then you could get out if you like, or yeah, that's what I would do. So anyway, so when that cross goes off, you're locked in for now. This doesn't work every time because sometimes there's fake outs, so you want to be patient and confirm the lock for the buy or the direction the market makers tend to move. So I know for me myself, I would generally avoid all this kind of stuff here in the middle, and then I'll wait for the clean move up, and then I'll get in. So, but yeah, so if you were to take that off the cross alert right to the top of the, so in about 2 hours, you're up about 230 pips. And then, yeah, that would be a very good day. So, and I'd be very happy with that. And I'm sure a lot of people would be too. So, yeah, then as you can see, price came down here. And reminder, this is all on the 1 minute time frame. And then right here, we had a bounce on our EMA. And then we are coming into New York session. And this is where I made a monster. I made a pretty substantial bag. So now I'll explain my thought process and what I went through to execute this trade. So, and the cool thing is you don't have to get up. You don't have to stay up during London. You don't have to get up late. You can just show up at about, as long as you show up about an hour before the market opens, you'll do pretty well. So anyways, so what happened is we had our EMA cross again, and I'm going to continue to break down each day. That way you guys kind of get an idea. And then you can start to see what I see a little more clearly. Now, I didn't see this like about a week ago, to be completely honest with you. And then once I saw it, it just clicked, and I was like, holy shit, why have I been such an idiot so long? But some things take time, and with practice, you can do absolutely anything you want to do in life. So as long as you're committed to the process and a goal, hey, go for it, man. Life's short, live it to your fullest. So anyways, so we have our cross here. Now this happened a little prematurely before the New York Open, so but I was up, so I ended up seeing it. So, and I also got the alert too, which I'll show you how to do. So we take this alert here, this EMA cross right here, and this is at 6:14 a.m. So slightly about 15 minutes before New York Open, and then so that would signal the start of the buy, and also the intended trend of the market makers. So what we are going to do is, so what I did is, see, I entered a trade here. And then what happened was a little bit later, as we actually got to New York Open, we saw a little bit of price action in here and a bunch of wicks where the market makers tried to take out stop losses, which are your best friend and will save your butt. So, but I'm going to explain my thought process and what I went through. So we know here that we had the cross at about 15 minutes before New York opened. So I knew before that the buy was locked in. So when I saw all these wicks to the low, I knew exactly what they were doing. They were trying to take out stop losses. And I knew that that wasn't their intended direction to take the market because we were locked in a buy from this happening. So I knew we were in a buy when we got up to here, and then when I saw them slam the low, tried to take out stop losses, I knew I was good. So what did I do? I ended up entering another couple positions, and I actually ended up getting some wick entries, which are pretty gnarly entries. One I got about 1 pip away from the wick tip, and the other one, yeah, about 4 pips from the end of the wick. So let's just say it was a good day. So yeah, so as you can see, that's our tended direction of the market. And when we had our cross, we maintain the flow. And as you can see, we still maintain this distance when the lines are separated. So we can hold, keep going. And as long as you maintain this space, no matter what the candles are doing, you are good to hold. So we zoom out a bit. So this was a very good day. So if you were to take that alert from the cross, as you can see, we did not too bad. So you're at about to the top of the A range or so. We're about 200 pips or so, 200 points just from that entry on that cross. So, and then if you got the wick, like I was fortunate enough to do, yeah, you would get a very good entry in a uptrend, and we maintain the uptrend as long as we maintain the space here between the aqua and the mayo, which is your 50 EMA and your 200 EMA. So yeah, that's another good day. I think you can see where this is going. So we have our Asian range here. This was Thursday, which is today. It is July 22nd at the current time of filming this. And this one here was a little delayed in the timing because, well, everybody needs sleep and I was sleeping. So anyways, so we had our cross here. So as you can see, London Open was right about here. And then what happened was you could take this, but that's the thing. You don't really know, especially in A range. So, but sometimes the real move is delayed. And yeah, so as you can see, if you would take the alert there, you would have got short-term profit, and depending how close your stop loss was, you would have got knocked out. But chances are generally when price comes like this and slams down, it means there was a lot of pending orders there or a lot of retail traders like me and you trading down there. So it's kind of messy. And then yeah, but you can see here too also we still maintain that distance though between the EMAs because we didn't cross here. Actually, I'll have to delete that line. And then what I'll do is I'll zoom in because we're on the 1 minute time frame, and let's see if they happen to cross or not. Nope, they don't. So very close to crossing, but they don't. So your trade would still be valid because the EMAs didn't cross. So you could even took this at you'd be open right here. You take this alert. So this happened at 11:41. And then as long as you maintain the space, which we do, it will remain valid. And then what happened is we had the real move here later on in the morning. So even that there, that's a good solid about 60, 70 pips or so, which still isn't bad if you took your entry on your EMA shift here, which is your aqua and your male. Now the real move happened a little later on in the morning, and that was this morning, and I was dead to the world sleeping because we all need to sleep. So as you can see, we had our cross here at 4:26 in the morning. So also you can see too, also your candles break below your EMAs, and as long as your candles are below your aqua line, you are selling. And so as long as that's good, you can maintain on the cross here. So what you can do is, depending where you enter, you're selling, but one thing to keep in mind too is you're also right beside this EMA, so you can expect to bounce up, which is exactly what happened. And usually if you have an EMA, chances are if it doesn't break through it, it'll usually bounce it, which means it hits it and then it comes back up a bit. So being patient. Now these candles are all 1 minute candles, so from here to here, you're about 34 minutes before I would consider actually entering that, because what you want to do is also be able to manage your risk management and not go into drawdown and go in drawdown for no reason, because that's no fun. That's how you blow accounts. That's risk management, which is something you want to get really good at as a trader and trading indices and forex. And yeah, so if you had took that, and then as you can see here, as long as price stopped and then reverse, and we also had our EMA cross here, the trade is valid. So if you were to take that, say you were to enter around this area where you broke the aqua again, because you would wait for all this until a better entry point to avoid drawdown, and then you could enter, and then as long as we maintain the space here, trade is valid. We are still selling. And down we go. And this works pretty darn well. So yeah, so you're anywhere from 129 pips from about 4:30 in the morning till about, which is still a solid day. And yeah, as you can see, Thursday in this case was a little messy, which yeah, so I happened to be actually sleeping when my entry I would have wanted went off. And so what I did was I waited until New York opened. And then usually, because New York opens pretty volatile and crazy, the market will be going everywhere and over. So anyways, I got in somewhere, it was 34,777. I got an entry, and I was on a 10 lot, which was wild. And I ended up getting $10,500, no income claims. And then rode that all the way down. And I got pretty fortunate because I actually got out before it reversed. I wouldn't say it scaled before it reversed, maybe just a little bit of luck. So I almost got the maximum out of that chance that I could. And then I was done for the day, and I was happy with my win. And then, yeah, because I'm still working a full-time job at the same time. And that was about about 20 minutes before I went to work. So I was in a pretty good mood at work, to say the least. So And then here, same thing, 10 a.m. you had a momentum shift from the downtrend, and then you started to shift up for a buy. And then the reminder, this is all on the 1 minute. And then so you would have entered this trade at 10 a.m., which is also a 4-hour candle on a higher time frame because it's every 4 hours, and the 10 o'clock falls on a 4-hour candle on the nose. So you would take that and then enter on the move, and then you would be holding this all the way up to current time, and you would currently be up right around 102 or 100 pips or so. And as you can see, as long as we maintain this distance from the EMAs and the candles are above, the trade is valid. And as long as we don't have our cross here, you are good to go. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a breakdown how I've been trading the Dow Jones, which is an awesome pair if you know what you're doing, and you can also burn your ass at the same time. So, I will show you how to set up these EMA alerts so you don't have to keep your eyes glued to the charts and be watching for this cross and be sure that it happens. So what you're going to do is you want to open up. Now I have trading view is the second one from the top. It's like premium. It allows you like 10 indicators, what I use. And here's like your TDI, for example. I don't use that really anymore, to be completely honest with you. It's good for confirmations, but I've been just doing aqua and male crosses on the 1 minute. So anyways, we can get rid of that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to break down our indicators. So I got another video on this channel, and you can go check out how to add, if you like my charts, you can add those indicators if you like. And yeah, so what you do is you add the EMA on separate indicators. So if we go up here to indicators, we are going to type in EMA for moving average exponential. And then what you're going to do is you're going to double click it, it'll add it to your chart. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into settings here, and then your EMA, and then we're going to change the length to 50. I don't know what it is default, depends what it is. So your 50 is your aqua EMA. And then you're going to put that at 50. Style, change it to aqua. I like it 100% opacity. I like it a little thicker and easier to see too on the eyes. So, and then yeah, everything else is pretty stock. And then once you have that done, you click OK. And then you're going to do the same thing, come into indicators, and then type in EMA, same thing again, and then click on moving average. And then you're going to, it'll pop up here, and then you're going to hit on the settings dial. And then you are going to change the inputs on the length to 200, which is your male line. Now, some people use white. I use gray myself because usually if I'm marking my charts, I like to mark them in white, or as you can see, lime green. And the white just didn't work for me, but it's totally up to you what two colors you want to use. But yeah, so I call this one kind of like moldy mayo. It's kind of my thing. So I don't like moldy mayo. I'm sure it tastes pretty bad, but it's not for the faint of heart. So yeah, so that's kind of, I changed mine as gray, and then style 200, and then same settings, only the color is different, and then you hit OK. Now, in order to add the alerts, what you want to do is you want to come over to that indicator, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on these three dots right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on add alert. So you're going to click that, and then we're going to move this over here so everybody can see it and my face isn't in the way. So, right, so now this is what you're doing, and you have to do this per like chart and per time frame, as it only works for one. And if you want this on another chart, or if you want this on another chart or on another time frame, you have to do it individually. So just keep that in mind. And so we have our condition, which is our 50 EMA, which is our aqua line, and we're going to have it crossing. And then we're going to hit value here. And since we have this on a separate indicator, what we can do is we can select that. So we can select here the 200. So when the 50 EMA crosses the 200 EMA, which is your aqua and your mayo, which also sets up your buy sequence here or your sell sequence and gives you the direction of the market maker's intention. So once you have that set up, 50 crossing 200, and then what you want to do is you want to set it up, and this is important, you want to click once per bar close. So if you do it only once, or once per bar, once per minute, it'll trigger it repeatedly. So every time the candles try and push it closer together, it'll be dinging your phone like you wouldn't believe. So don't do that. I made that mistake, and I'll save you some headache. So once per bar close, and what this does is the once per bar close also confirms the direction. So after a bar or a candle closes over that direction and pulls the EMAs past each other, then what it does is it locks it in for that direction. So yeah, so that's what you do. And then expiration time, you can only set up to I believe it's about 60 days in advance. So yeah, you're gonna have to reset this time and time again. But yeah, you just click whatever date, and then you want to click on notify on the app, so it'll notify you on your trading view, show your pop-up, send an email. That's something that I do so I can see and check my phone, because I'm on my phone pretty regularly, and I'm always kind of in the know where the price is or where it's going. So, and yeah, and you kind of know too, because once you check the alert, you can see what way it's going, and then yeah, you can hop in for a trade. So yeah, pretty neat. And I'm not going to create this because I already have it set up. So, and you can call it what I called it. I called it US30 Mayo, or sorry, US30 Aqua, US30 Aqua / Mayo cross 1 min time frame. Call it what you want and do what works for you. And then you click create. Now I already have it on my chart, so I'm not going to click OK. I'm just going to click the X. And then what happens is you go to your alert log, and as you can see, we have our US30 Aqua Mayo 1 min cross. And then as you can see down here, we have our alert log. And it tells you every time it crossed, which is pretty frequently. So yeah, and that's on the 1 minute time frame. So yeah, and then we go back to here, we can close this up. And yeah, that's kind of all I got. And yeah, so right here we're coming to Asian range, then we're going to be starting. So this is Thursday Asian range, which is today, and then we're coming to Friday. And yeah, so if I was paying attention and I was not at work, I would have entered this trade here, and then I would be continuing to hold because we didn't have our EMA cross, and you currently be up about 124 pips or points. So anyways, that's all I got for you today. And hopefully you learned something, you got some value. Please like this video if you can, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, so I'm pretty close. I think I'm like 3 away. That'd be pretty cool to hit. And yeah, share this with your fellow trading buddies, and let's catch some pips on the chart. So have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you guys later. So cheers.